a good time every time. Y'all need to relax, okay? Sophie Cunningham helped the Indiana Fever defeat the Phoenix Mercury, and she wanted to do her signature point, and we got the Fun Police, Indiana Fever assistant coaching staff coming in trying to ruin everything. We got to get into that, and it looks like the WNBA Women's Sports Sundays or whatever.
The Indiana Fever franchise is officially facing an absolute, unprecedented collapse, and the entire sports world is watching in total shock. In a single night, the team's viewership numbers have completely tanked. Fan panic has reached a devastating all-time high, and rumors are exploding that a massive locker room mutiny is threatening to tear the team apart behind closed doors. This is the absolute end of the Fever as we know it. For decades, professional sports have operated under a strict chain of command. Players handle the hardwood, the bench dictates the system, and management keeps the organization unified. But in the modern era of women's basketball, where the media spotlight is absolutely blinding and fan loyalty is fiercely intense, that traditional balance is facing an existential crisis. The narrative surrounding the franchise has suddenly transformed from an exciting championship rebuild into an all-out war of words, leaving millions of fans completely divided over the direction of the organization. The spark that lit this digital wildfire didn't come from an opposing squad or an official trade memo. It ignited straight from the team's internal handling of its biggest superstars. For weeks, the intense physicality on the floor has forced players to form deep, unshakable bonds. When the league's premier assets encounter relentless, aggressive defensive strategies, internal unity becomes the ultimate armor. But what happens when the fans feel that armor isn't being supported by the coaching staff? What happens when a routine tactical disagreement balloons into a full-scale public fallout? Reports of severe internal friction have erupted, sending massive shock waves through the community. The breaking point has officially arrived, and rumors continue to grow that the foundation of the team is fracturing under the pressure.
You're going to see Sophie Cunningham having a good time, celebrating, and then you're going to watch the Fun Police. The Fun Police, Indiana Fever assistant coaches come in. Hey, you're having too much fun. Stop. Take a look. Let her point. She's pointing. She's having a good time. She's celebrating with the fans after a win. And here comes the Fun Police. Look, why are you knocking her arm down? Like, fall back. Sometimes y'all just gotta fall back. Look, you hitting her, push her arm down. Like, bro, y'all gotta relax. Y'all have got to relax. We don't need you policing us. Like, look, we just won a game. If I want to point to the crowd with my signature Sophie the Blonde Bomber point and have a good time and celebrate a win, let me be.
The franchise is facing an administrative nightmare that could destroy its momentum in a matter of hours. To fully understand how this high-profile organization reached a state of complete organizational chaos, you have to look closer at the intense dynamics playing out under the arena lights. In the high-stakes world of the WNBA, the arrival of generational icons has completely changed the game. Every single possession is scrutinized by millions of eyes, meaning every hard screen, every uncalled foul, and every intense collision becomes an immediate national debate.
The lawmakers have requested an investigation. I'm just going to do it legal. Okay,
that's fine. All right, fine.
Okay, so
the law is your sport.
Okay, thank you. The law, thank you, Tim. The letter asks that for an investigation into this. This isn't, from my understanding, the first time that you would have some sort of like civil rights investigation involving basketball players. So it's not like it's something new.
Yeah,
Jason,
no, and I'll tell you
what is
why.
going on the court here?
I think it's absolutely silly, and it's anti-woman athlete. They play incredibly physical basketball in the WNBA.
Hey, I'm glad to have a Democrat defending women's sports. This is rare.
Tim, how many WNBA games have you watched in totality? I bet you none of those lawmakers have watched them.
Zero.
So
Actually, I guarantee you they've watched games of Kaylin Clark.
How are they coming to these conclusions when they haven't watched the play in other instances? She gets physical play because she's a good player, and I've never seen them come to the rescue of someone like Angel Reese, for example,
hold on a second.
who got clotheslined on the court.
We have a Democrat defending women's sports here. Jason, do you think? Hold on, Jason. Do you think Michael Jordan should be able to play in the WNBA?
No, but here's
is
what
great.
I'm
This
saying.
is a
Michael
landmark-
Jordan's too
this is
old.
a landmark moment.
But I'll tell you this much. Michael Jordan, when he was getting fouled by the Detroit Pistons and getting slammed on the ground, Congress didn't come in and...
During this highly charged campaign, an unexpected narrative began to dominate the court. Whenever the physical intensity reached a boiling point, fierce competitors like Sophie Cunningham were seen by the public as vocal allies, stepping up to establish strong boundaries and defend Caitlin Clark from the relentless pressure of opposing defenses. To the fans, this display of intense loyalty was exactly what the team needed, an uncompromising show of solidarity on the hardwood. But behind the closed doors of film rooms and strategy sessions, this raw on-court energy reportedly ran directly into a wall of tactical coaching philosophy. A major ideological rift began to take shape. While the public wanted to see an immediate, aggressive response to every hard defensive play, inside sources suggest that the coaching staff favored a structured, disciplined system focused on macro adjustments rather than emotional escalations. Reports indicate that a massive disagreement erupted behind the scenes over how the team handles on-court confrontations and player protection. Rather than managing the tension, the resulting strategic clash was perceived by passionate fans as a total failure to stand behind the stars, driving the league's massive cultural boom. The bench's strict insistence on traditional discipline drove a massive, unforgiving wedge straight through the heart of the team, leaving the roster completely fractured under the public eye. The exact moment an internal locker room conflict spills over into public view, management completely loses control of the narrative. The public reaction to this tactical fallout has been swift, brutal, and completely devastating for the front office. Fever fans have entirely erupted online, flooding social media feeds to criticize the coaching staff's decisions.
Understand? Yeah, I don't know. Stephanie White, find something else for them to do. They're trying to police everything. They're trying to stop a good time. Find something to do. Leave it alone. Now, we have to get into this because it looks like viewership is down. You know, it's up. It may be in a good place for women's basketball, but compared to what they got rid of to have this, it looks like this isn't going so well. This is courtesy of Awful Announcing. It says Women's Sports Sundays holding its own after replacing Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN. Okay. Here it says ESPN replaced Sunday Night Baseball with Women's Sports Sundays. And 3 weeks in, we are getting our first look at how the change is working for ESPN. Through 3 weeks, WNBA games on Women's Sports Sundays are averaging 1 million viewers. The latest edition of Women's Sports Sundays was by far the series' biggest viewership success, with 1.6 million people watching the Indiana Fever take on the Las Vegas Aces. Now, here it says the Fever Aces was a strong audience for the WNBA on ESPN. Viewership for the game was up 53% from ESPN's WNBA regular season last season and up 3% from last season's Indiana Fever average on ESPN. Okay, now here's where things get tricky, and they the word semantics. So they're gonna tell you, hey, it's up, 1 million viewers, it's up. Now remember what it replaced. Sunday Night Baseball is averaging substantially more views.
The collective message from the public is loud, clear, and terrifying for league executives. In the modern era, you cannot alienate the marquee names who hold the entire viewership on their shoulders. When fan perception shifts from supporting a team to actively fighting the coaching staff, the infrastructure of the franchise begins to crumble. In a single night, fan engagement metrics tanked sharply as frustrated viewers turned their backs on the team's administrative leadership. 3 crucial cornerstones, including Clark, Lexi Hull, and other key powerhouse assets, are deeply evaluating their long-term futures with the organization. When an entire core of elite talent is rumored to be looking at the exit door, preparing for a historic mass departure to rival teams, the threat of a complete franchise shutdown becomes an immediate reality. The organization is no longer just fighting for a spot in the playoffs. They are fighting to prevent a complete, historic collapse of the entire team.
Yeah. Good shot. Yeah, good shot, Kalen. Yeah. Good shot. Yeah, good pass, Sophie. Good pass. Yeah, good pass. Yeah. Stephanie White doing a fucking backflip. Doing a freaking backflip. This is sick. Look at how excited y'all are. Kaylin also won a game and set records, even with AB, and this jealous coach had nothing to say. No emotion, literally no mention of CC. She even turned the team against CC. Damn. Acting like you won the championship after beating one of the worst teams. Unreal. Funny how White always seems to be more excited after wins when Clark doesn't play, and funny how minute restrictions and multiple rotations just went out the window, unlike last game. Yeah, Aaliyah Boston comes off of being out with a injury to playing fucking 38 minutes. I don't think Caitlin Clark's ever played 38 minutes in her WNBA career. I don't. CC, it's been a fun 5 to 6 years watch you play basketball. Never thought I would rather watch a women's basketball game than many other sports. That was because of you and how you made the games exciting. It's over now. Too many people, lesbian, jealous people, want to destroy you. I don't see things changing in the W unless something crazy is uncovered or Congress does actually investigate. If you are unwilling, and I know and appreciate your morals and integrity, to stand up and actually fight back to these people, it's going to only get worse for you and your career. We are here for you and will always have your back. Damn. Sophie Cunningham trolling the Phoenix Mercury. Michaela Timpson with the greatest defensive play in WNBA history, and she's only in her second year. That shows how much of an athletic freak Michaela Timpson is and how subpar the WNBA has been. And then we have Stephanie White becoming erect watching Kelsey Mitchell go-ahead shot, comparing it to Caitlin Clark's game winner.
Now, the organization stands at an ultimate crossroads, trapped in a high-stakes dilemma with no easy escape route. Every single statement, lineup change, and executive decision made moving forward will be picked apart under a global microscope. The coaching staff finds itself completely backed into a corner, caught between defending its traditional authority and salvaging its relationship with a deeply frustrated locker room. To stop the bleeding and win back a hostile fan base, a drastic choice must be made. Do they double down on a rigid, top-down tactical system, forcing the roster to fall in line, or do they completely restructure their approach to give the players the vocal, aggressive organizational support the public is screaming for? The clock is ticking rapidly, and the margin for error has completely vanished. Sports history is filled with elite rosters that were completely dismantled, not by the skills of their opponents, but by the sheer weight of internal division. When the core connection between the players on the floor and the leadership on the bench is broken, the downward spiral is almost impossible to stop. One fact remains completely undeniable: the current status quo cannot hold. The explosive combination of dropping fan metrics, massive public backlash, franchise disaster. Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like this video and hit subscribe to stay tuned as this historic sports crisis develops.